Hi, my name is Danielle, and I am the mom of two incredible kiddos, both adopted from South Korea. My son is almost 7, and I would describe him as ghost pepper spicy, and my daughter is almost 4, and I would describe her as a jalapeno pepper. I am a mom in the Delta Genesis program, and the reason why I am here is because my son honestly struggles. We've identified for him that he has ADHD, sensory processing disorder, super high anxiety, low adaptability, disruptive behavior that's become violent at times towards his sister, towards his dogs, towards adults, or to himself even. He has very low adaptability, and all these things we've kind of discovered from day one. From the moment we met our son, he is just 150 miles an hour at all times. He is the busiest little body I had ever seen, and I have ever experienced. And I thought at first it was just that, okay, this is boy energy. But literally, when he wakes up for the day, it's like a light switch is turned on, and he goes until the very end of the day, where he literally collapses from exhaustion, and a light switch just goes off because he is so tired. So that is the kind of energy that we are dealing with our little guy. Now, fast forward to kindergarten, started last year, and that's when we knew that we really needed help for him. He just was struggling, although we were at an incredible school that really supported him, that really nurtured him as a whole. His teacher sat down with us at the end of the year and said, look, I'm recommending that he move on to first grade, but I really got to tell you that he's 3 years behind all of his peers socially and developmentally. He's incredibly smart, but he's behind. You guys need to get a diagnosis. You guys need to get help because I need help for him in the classroom in order to get him to move on to first grade. And that was the wake-up call for us. But if I'm honest, I can honestly tell you the very first day of preschool, I knew that we needed help. I just wasn't really ready to admit it. The day that I dropped him off for preschool, the very first day, and forgive me if I cry, he was literally torn from my arms screaming because they wanted a transition where the moms don't stay and it was a good break. But he was torn from my arms screaming, and I sat in the parking lot for 20 minutes and bawled my eyes out because I could still hear him screaming for me and crying. His anxiety was so great. When I went to pick him up that very same day, the director pulled me aside and said, we don't have the staffing available here to take care of the needs that your son has. And I thought to myself, I thought this is a preschool. I thought you guys were experts at kids and that you deal with all kinds of kids from all areas and all scenarios. But the longer that he was there, we really realized that a typical school environment was not for my son. And he was not able to sit. He was not able to follow instructions. He was not able to communicate well. He was being disruptive. He was hitting other children. He was pushing other children. And it more and more that he was there, he just became the child who was seen as the bad child because he could not control his body. And we sought help, different scenarios of things that we tried. But again, it wasn't really until kindergarten where we knew that we really needed help. And I started doing research alongside getting diagnoses. And we stumbled along this program called Delta Genesis. And I can honestly tell you, it has changed the trajectory of my son's life, and it has changed our family's life. Delta Genesis is a program that deals with treating the brain and the body together in healing the parts that are missing, whether it's the primitive reflexes, not being able to cross midlines. There's different body-brain communications that are missing basically in my son. And we've been in this program for 6 months, and we have seen night and day differences. There was 5 main areas that he struggled with. I'll tell you on a scale of 1 to 10. Anxiety for him was 8 out of 10. Emotional dysregulation was 7 out of 10. His inability to slow down was 9 out of 10. His high intensity was 9 out of 10. And low adaptability was 7 out of 10. And those are the areas that when we started the program, we said, this is what we need help with. This is where we're at. And our hope was to honestly get to the point where those numbers, if we could get those numbers cut in half for him, he would actually have a chance, because the trajectory that he was going on in life, our biggest fear was that he was going to end up in jail, or he was going to end up on drugs, or he was going to end up in trouble basically in life because of the path that he was on. So again, we're in the program 6 months now, and we started seeing changes right about the 2-week mark. And the first one that we saw was in low adaptability. This is where a kid struggles that they got the blue cup instead of the green cup, and they really wanted the green cup. Well, before that would turn into a meltdown for my son, whether he was breaking glass, whether he was hurting his sister, or going and hitting the dog and having an epic meltdown, sometimes ranging to 2 hours, and not being able to really let all that anger out, it was big rages, and it would happen multiple times a day for him. So the very first time that I saw that change was in 2 weeks of the program. My son got a cup that he wasn't happy with the color of it, and he looked at me and he said, "Mom, that's okay. Maybe tomorrow I could have the green cup. It's okay that Sissy got it this time." And I literally was like, "Who are you? And where did you take my kid? This is amazing. I didn't even know you were capable of understanding those words or saying those words." And that's what this program has done for my family. I'm just so passionate about it because, again, I've seen the difference of what it's done for my life, for my kids' life, and I can't wait to see if this is something that could help your family too.